Have a listen to this solo.
Mr. Brett Garsed there, ladies and gentlemen. Just here.
That's Australia's Brett Garsed, who's from Victoria, where I am. And he's one of the greatest rock guitarists in the world. If you're not familiar with him and you're here on a guitar channel, go and check him out. Do a bit of digging and you will not regret it. He's a phenomenon. I liken him to Alan Holdsworth, and that's not hyperbole. He's got all the speed and flash and nothing seems beyond his reach. But his note choices and his creations and his phrasing are just insanely clever and tasty and wonderful. Wonderful. But anyway, I don't want to talk endlessly about how good Brett Garsed is and what a wonderful, humble human being he is as well. I just want to have a look at him blowing a bit of improv over a 12-bar blues in E flat, which is a bit weird for us guitarists. So let's just pull it apart and see what he does in 12 bars. So he kicks off with just a standard bend up to the E flat, and then dropping back to the 6th there, bending it up to the minor 7th. But the lick he does next is a little bit more unusual. So he's landing on the 9th there. We're in E flat. If you picture your E flat 9 chord and bending that. So that's just all down the blues scale, but then out comes one of his trademark legato licks. Brett uses 2 fingers along with his pick to play legato. I can't do it with 2, I can only use 1 and barely do that. But this lick is just wonderful. It starts off sliding into the G for the 3rd in the E flat chord. So we can see the chord shapes there. Think of this E flat chord. And then think of this E flat 9. There's the hammer on to the 13th, 7th, back to the 13th. Then sliding up and bending that 11th fret. The other thing that's amazing about that lick is the timing of it, because he starts off with swing 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and then he goes into 16th notes. Then the progression changes to the A flat, the 4 chord, that's great. All those notes are notes that we've all used over an A flat chord, but the way Brett puts it together, the phrasing is just wonderful. Let's do it nice and slowly. 3, 4, 1. Brilliant. Then we're back over the E flat, and now he's up at the 11th fret, the E flat pentatonic minor area. And that's a great little lick too. That's just the blues scale, but his phrasing is what makes that one sound wonderful. He's way behind the beat. So then we're over the 5 chord, the B flat 9. Once again, we see Brett's phrasing come to the fore with this. So he starts with those triplets, but he doesn't start right on beat 1. It's like 1. And then he's got, which are like 16th notes again. So he straightens up the feel for those phrases. Another thing we see Brett do throughout this is use the 6th or the 13th in most of his licks. We saw it down here. that note there, and there, and he does it here over the B flat, the G note there. Then we've got that little staccato. Wonderful. Then it's back to the 4 chord, the A flat, and over this one, he does the same thing. He does a descending run that ends on the 13th. And that run there as well, he starts on the 13th for the high part. So remember, we're in A flat, down to the 11th. And that's just back into the blues scale. And to finish it off, the coolest thing of the whole thing, he does a standard blues lick. It's like an AC/DC lick. There's our E flat. But instead of bending up to E flat, he bends to E. Now why? Now if that was me, it'd totally be an accident. The excitement of the moment, I would bend the string too far and regret it later on. But Brett doesn't make accidents. That's a flat 9. Now listen, the song does have a section where it goes like an E9 to an E flat 9. So maybe he's thinking ahead to that part of the song where he's going to come out of the solo and it's going to be the... And so he went ready to go back to the E flat. But maybe, and this is what I like to think, maybe he's just gone, this has sounded so tasty, I'm going to play the single toughest note choice I can possibly find and make that sound cool as well. I'm going to resolve to a minor second over the 1 chord. It sounds so great. I would never do that on purpose. I love you, Brett. All right. All my tabs can always be found over on my Patreon, but more importantly, Brett has a world of stuff on his sites. Go and find him, track him down, and invest in some of his legato technique studies and everything. So much that this man can teach us.